Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. And yes, today I'm back after the insane dumpster fire that was the comment section in the previous video. If you guys haven't watched it, I shared my opinion on how I think a C0 Raiden functions in the game. And right, of course, with a lot of these hot take videos, which it was a hot take video, you know, a lot of people came in, shared their thoughts. It got very difficult to navigate a lot of the comments, but hey, regardless, I want to hear your honest opinions. Do you think a C0 Raiden is good in different roles in the game? Main DPS, support DPS, what do you think? All right, go share your opinions on that. Today, going to be talking about Kokomi. Now, I don't know if this is a hot take because I do believe that for my personal Raiden experience, it maybe doesn't align with what a lot of people have with their Raiden experience. Now, I rarely do play Raiden in a main DPS role just because her at C0, with my current resources invested into her, just doesn't feel good enough. However, with Kokomi, it's slightly different. Kokomi doesn't have such a demanding role in the game, but at the same time, Kokomi somehow can function in a couple different roles. In fact, it's probably more accurate to say she fills more role than one oftentimes when she's on the team. And in fact, she does have a role that slightly overlaps with a certain role with Raiden Shogun, and that is in being a driver for certain teams. If you guys don't know what a driver role is, I'm not going to get into it in this video, but you guys can go search that up and then come back to this video later, okay? So with Kokomi, we can essentially call her miHoYo's golden child, right? I think in the very beginning, when miHoYo first released Kokomi, people responded to her negatively, mainly due to ignorance. People didn't want to try and figure out how she worked. People didn't want to even process the possibility of a new and different playstyle that is being introduced into the game at the time. And I've made videos talking about this at her original release. Now, as time has passed, you guys see her usage rate in Abyss shooting up patch by patch, and I said this would happen back when she first released. It's always the same with these characters. They get released, people make fun of them, people don't believe, and then miHoYo eventually makes changes that benefits these characters, and of course their rates are gonna continue going up, especially with the current state of the game, with how miHoYo is targeting shielders. Expect Kokomi's usage to keep going up. I think currently she's one of the most used characters in Abyss alongside characters like Raiden Shogun, Kazuha, Bennett, and people like that. And it shouldn't come as a surprise to you that she's going to have massive popularity spikes during her rerun. In fact, I do know a lot of people who are going to choose a C0 Kokomi over a C0 Raiden, and I do think that is a great choice for many people to make depending on what characters you have. Let's start with her functions. Currently, Kokomi has roles that she can fulfill as a healer, hydro applicator, as well as team driver. And currently, it doesn't matter how you play her, she's always filling 2 out of these 3 roles, and the role that she is always filling, doesn't matter on what team she's on, is the healer role. Understand that as long as you have Kokomi in your team, you don't need to worry anything about regeneration. And with how shielders are slowly being fizzled out of a lot of content nowadays, having a Kokomi on your team is really essentially having a strong backbone. Think of Kokomi as the healer Zhongli, right? Imagine if you guys know how it felt like having a Zhongli on all of your teams. I remember when we used to struggle with content, just slap Zhongli in there. Oh, I can't beat this, I'm getting killed, or I don't have enough survivability, slap Zhongli in there. Now it's going to be the same for Kokomi, but just in the healer position. She is insanely tanky. Her jellyfish has great uptime along with hydro application and can be extended with her burst skill, and then by the time the extension period finishes, her original skill is back. And with certain team builds, yes, with Raiden Shogun, you are able to supercharge her burst regen, essentially to having her jellyfish up permanently. A permanent hydro applicant. Granted, you do have to switch to her and cycle through the abilities, right? Followed by her role as a healer / hydro applicator in teams like Permafreeze with Ayaka, with Ganyu, especially with now Shen He Ao. I've tried her and really enjoy her in the Permafreeze triple cryo team. She also has driver teams where she gels together and facilitates the DPS of her supporting cast. Now we got teams like Kokomi Official Taser, we got Coco Popo Maman, where she literally currently is at the forefront with her jellyfish, along with Oz, along with Guoba, to deal massive amounts of damage when everything gets swirled together. She's just in a cauldron of DPS. These are all great possible teams you can play with Kokomi, and over time people have discovered that her negative 100% crit rate doesn't mean anything. She is not a character that's designed for DPS. As much as people have tried, there are people who have Kokomis who are dealing 100k plus on instances of burst damage, right? Does that mean suddenly Kokomi is now a superb main DPS and you can run C0 Kokomi as your main DPS anywhere? Of course not. This character's pros not only stops at her flexibility and the favoritism that MiHoYo has for her, but also she is insanely cheap to build. Being a Catalyst user who oftentimes are in teams where she's swapped in and out and in and out, guess what's another thing? A cheap item that's really good on her. Thrilling Tales, right? You can use Kokomi to supercharge any carry you wish to play, and oftentimes she will be in different teams that the carries are plentiful, right? Think of the Kopo Koman Ponchan team. Think of the triple cryo team, right? You give attack to Ganyu, love it. You give attack to Ayaka, love it. You give attack to Shenhe, chef's kiss. Of course, she loves it. Followed up by, if you have her in the Taser team, Fischl can utilize that and transfer it back onto Oz, as well as Raiden Shogun. If you do have her in the Taser team, along with Kazuha, can also benefit from the attack bonus. She's oftentimes never in the position to waste a Thrilling Tail buff. She's not as demanding, resource intensive as a lot of the other units that are either currently live or coming back in the future. Now, does this mean Kokomi is a character who is perfect in every way with no problems? Not really. And let's talk a little bit about that, okay? The problem with Kokomi is that for people who are starting up in the game newer, she doesn't bring much but support, right? If you're trying to deal damage with her, she oftentimes can deal damage when she's holding hands with other characters that can have great off-field presence. What I'm essentially saying is if you're trying to pull Kokomi to have her carry you, she's not going to carry you. She's going to help your carries carry you, if that makes any sense. She gives you access to some of the best comps available right now, while also filling in a very needed role of a healer and applicator / driver role in the game. Essentially a one-of-a-kind unit, but doesn't do much without a host. I'm really trying to not say the word, but I feel like I have to drop it just so you guys understand what I mean. She's kind of like a parasite. Damn, I said it. I wish I can take that back. You know what? She's a symbiote, if you guys know. She needs to coexist with your other carries to have massive effects. The stronger your carries are, the stronger the characters she's supporting are going to be, the better you're going to feel her effectiveness in your teams and rosters. But she herself will not come into your life and change everything. Unless you're playing Ayaka Kazuha and Shenhe and you currently don't have Mona and your Barbara is really struggling, yes, she will change your life, but only in the sense of her utility offered in Hydro application, right? I hope I'm making sense in all of this. She's a great character, and honestly, I do put her above a lot of other units currently slated for reruns, with exceptions to maybe Kazuha. All right, and yes, that's just my personal bias. I'm human. I'm allowed to have my bias and opinions. They may be right, they may be wrong. Love to hear what you guys think about this character. You know, I'm not going to get into the discussion of her versus Raiden. We will get to that as their banner approaches. But right now, currently as is, I think Kokomi has a lot of great things about her and will offer more benefits to a lot of people's team over someone like Raiden Shogun. Again, just my input. I leave this towards the end because I know people who usually have a knee-jerk reaction to this stuff, they don't make it past like 2 minutes in the video. So for people who have the patience and reach the end, what do you guys think? All right, love to hear your opinions on this. And again, thank you guys for your patience and continued support. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream and video. Until then, urge you all to stay safe and peace.